New invisible enemy only added to the collective anxiety. Known as the sleeping sickness, EL plunged its victims into a waking nightmare, transforming them into living statues. These individuals, once full of life and vigor, were now trapped in a state of perpetual stillness, their expressions vacant and their bodies unresponsive. This wasn't a gradual decline, but a sudden and inexplicable theft of vitality. One moment they were living their lives, and the next they were prisoners within their own bodies, unable to communicate or move. People went to bed healthy and woke up imprisoned within their own bodies, their former lives reduced to a cruel echo. Families watched helplessly as their loved ones became shadows of their former selves, their eyes open but their spirits seemingly gone. The world watched in horror as a generation succumbed to this silent thief, their stories a stark reminder of the fragility of human existence. Communities were gripped by fear, unsure of who would be struck next by this relentless and mysterious illness. The epidemic, lasting from 1917 to 1928, left an indelible mark on medical history. It challenged the medical community to its core, pushing doctors and researchers to their limits as they sought to understand and combat this enigmatic disease. It was a time of great fear and uncertainty as doctors struggled to understand and combat an enemy they couldn't see or fully comprehend. The medical community was faced with a puzzle that seemed to defy all known science, and the desperation to find answers was palpable. The very nature of EL, its ability to rob individuals of their agency and leave them stranded in a twilight state, struck a primal fear in the hearts of many. It was a stark reminder of how little control we truly have over our own bodies and minds, and how quickly life can change in the face of an unseen threat. Despite the advances in medical science, encephalitis lethargica remains one of the great medical mysteries of the 20th century. The exact cause of the disease is still unknown, and its sudden disappearance in the late 1920s only adds to its enigma. Today, researchers continue to study the remnants of this epidemic, hoping to unlock its secrets and prevent a similar outbreak in the future. The story of encephalitis lethargica serves as a haunting reminder of the ever-present potential for new and unknown diseases to emerge. As we move forward, it's crucial to remember the lessons of the past. The enigmatic epidemic of encephalitis lethargica teaches us the importance of vigilance, research, and compassion in the face of medical mysteries. It reminds us that despite our advancements, there is still much we do not understand about the human body and the diseases that can afflict it. The first whispers of EL emerged during the chaos of World War I. Reports of a strange sleeping sickness began to surface, initially dismissed as a consequence of wartime stress and exhaustion. However, these cases were unlike anything doctors had ever encountered before. The epicenter of the outbreak seemed to be Vienna, Austria, where the renowned neurologist Konstantin von Economo first described the unusual symptoms. He observed patients experiencing profound lethargy, often accompanied by ocular motor disturbances and Parkinsonian-like movement disorders. As the war raged on, the mysterious illness spread like wildfire, crossing borders and continents with terrifying speed. It seemed no one was immune to its effects. Men, women, and children from all walks of life fell victim to its insidious grasp. By the 1920s, EL had reached pandemic proportions, infecting an estimated 500,000 people worldwide. Hospitals overflowed with patients trapped in their own bodies, their families left to grapple with the agonizing reality of their condition.
The most striking feature of EL was its ability to plunge individuals into a state of profound lethargy. This lethargy was not just a simple tiredness or fatigue. It was an overwhelming, all-encompassing exhaustion that left its victims utterly debilitated. Victims appeared to be asleep, their eyes closed, their breathing shallow. To an observer, it might seem as though they were merely resting, but this was far from the truth. However, unlike those in a coma, many EL patients were acutely aware of their surroundings. They were trapped in a state of wakeful unresponsiveness, a cruel paradox where the mind remained active while the body refused to cooperate. They could hear, see, and feel, but were unable to move or speak. This created a nightmarish scenario where they were fully conscious of their entrapment, unable to communicate their distress or needs. Their bodies were held captive by an unseen force, their minds trapped in a prison of flesh and bone. This state of being was not only physically debilitating, but also mentally and emotionally torturous. Imagine the terror of being fully conscious, yet utterly powerless to interact with the world around you. The psychological impact of such an experience was profound, often leading to feelings of intense fear and helplessness.
Beyond lethargy, EL manifested in a myriad of neurological symptoms. These symptoms varied widely among patients, making the disease even more perplexing and challenging to diagnose. Some patients experienced tremors, rigidity, and other Parkinsonian-like movement disorders. These symptoms often mimicked those of Parkinson's disease, adding another layer of complexity to the condition. Others developed bizarre compulsions, tics, and behavioral abnormalities. These manifestations could be unpredictable and varied greatly from one individual to another. Ocular gyric crises, characterized by involuntary upward rolling of the eyes, were also common. This particular symptom was both alarming and distressing for patients and their families. The impact of EL extended far beyond the physical. The neurological symptoms were just one aspect of the disease's devastating effects. The disease wreaked havoc on the mental and emotional well-being of its victims. The combination of physical immobility and mental awareness created a perfect storm for psychological distress. Many experienced severe anxiety, depression, and psychosis. These mental health issues were often exacerbated by the isolation and helplessness felt by the patients. The once vibrant and engaged individuals were reduced to shadows of their former selves. The disease stripped them of their vitality, leaving them in a state of perpetual suffering and despair.
The cause of EL remains a mystery to this day. Despite extensive research and numerous studies, the exact origin of this debilitating condition continues to elude scientists and medical professionals alike. However, one of the most compelling theories points to an autoimmune reaction triggered by a preceding streptococcal infection. This theory suggests that the body's immune response to the infection may go awry, leading to unintended consequences. Streptococcus is a common bacterium responsible for a variety of illnesses, including strep throat and scarlet fever. These infections are typically mild and treatable, but in some cases, they may set off a chain reaction within the body. Researchers speculate that in some individuals, the immune system, while fighting off the streptococcal infection, mistakenly attacks the brain, leading to the inflammation and damage characteristic of EL. This autoimmune response could be due to molecular mimicry, where the immune system confuses brain cells for the bacteria. This theory is supported by the fact that many EL cases were preceded by an upper respiratory infection, possibly caused by streptococcus. The timeline of these infections and the onset of EL symptoms often coincide, further strengthening this hypothesis.
Further evidence comes from the observation that some EL patients had high levels of antibodies against streptococcal bacteria in their blood. These elevated antibody levels indicate a recent or ongoing immune response to the infection. These antibodies, designed to target and destroy the bacteria, may have inadvertently attacked brain cells, leading to the neurological symptoms of EL. This misdirected immune response could cause significant damage to the brain's delicate structures. While the streptococcus theory holds promise, it is important to note that not everyone who contracted strep throat or scarlet fever developed EL. This discrepancy suggests that additional factors must be at play. This suggests that other factors, such as genetic predisposition or environmental triggers, may also play a role in the development of the disease. Genetic factors could make certain individuals more susceptible to autoimmune reactions, while environmental factors might influence the severity and progression of the disease. The interplay between these elements remains a critical area of ongoing research, as scientists strive to unravel the complexities of EL and develop effective treatments. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on our latest content. Thank you for watching.